that I did a month ago, when you put the visuals to the side, you actually get a really decent story and dive into Pandora. But really, the story isn't the greatest. Like, the story, it's like base level and it's normal, like a normal movie. Oh, these people must attack them so they get what they want and stuff like that. But I do think that them introducing the kids and introducing the other characters and sort of trying to expand out things is a good take, an interesting take. But it's definitely not a perfect movie. Like, I do think that the Colonel Quaritch thing, where they use him again and he's just a Navi now, it's like, yeah, it's not a smart choice that James Cameron made. Obviously, he's still made people, drive up in droves to see this movie because of what I mentioned about less competition, and it's during the Christmas holidays. And I will not say that just because it's made so much money, it's a perfect masterpiece. No, there is issues, and like they kind of forget about the whales as well, like the whales that are introduced with the Sea Tribe. Like they like and not kill the whales, or they like harm the whales. Like there's kind of like animal cruelty going on, and then they forget about it, and now it's just about defeating Quaritch, and then you have Spider, and Quaritch. He's like Spider saves Quaritch, so he's still in the movie. Like after the setting movie.
You are about to experience The James Rambling Show, hosted by James Batty.
Hello, welcome back to The James Rambling Show for yet another edition of the podcast, or episode, or whatever we want to call it. Today I'm going to be talking about how I've seen Avatar again. I know that I've talked about Avatar quite a few times now on the podcast, and I did a review episode on it, but it's been on my mind recently, and I just want to sort of talk about it more. How did I feel about it upon a rewatch? And then I've also got for you my plan for the next few episodes. Like I've hinted at, I'm going to be doing food episodes that aren't hot takes, and I just don't want hot takes now because that stuff was parody and it didn't really work. So, and I've said that 5,000 times, but I just wanted to say that because I just want to delve into it more. It's an interesting topic and it's actually something worth listening to, if that makes any sense. And so, there you go. You're obviously aware of the new intro, you're obviously aware of the Tom Duncan situation, so I won't go too into those sorts of things. And so, let's dive into Avatar: The Way of Water, the redux, the review, the re-review, the look back, whatever you want to call it. How did I feel upon a rewatch? So about 4 or 5 days ago, I went to see Avatar: The Way of Water a second time with my sister and her boyfriend, who were the people that I saw Top Gun Maverick with for the first time. And they didn't watch the first Avatar movie, and we were going into it. They didn't really know much about they didn't really watch the Avatar movie, although my sister's boyfriend saw it a month ago. But you have that where you have these people that don't re-watch the original Avatar. They go in, you think they might not like it because it's very long. Then they enjoy it. They actually enjoy it, and I have to say that I did still enjoy the movie. But I want to throw in the fact that this time I went, there was like a luxe version, which you get these recliners. I had that during Bullet Train. You had these recliners, and you got complimentary popcorn and drinks. And then, they don't come and refill it for you. You have to go and refill it. And my sister had to walk out for 5 minutes. For about 5 minutes to get another Pepsi for me because I drank it all, and it came in this different glass. Like the glass was kind of small. It had ice in it. And the interesting thing was about this theatre experience was how, We walked in about 5 minutes into Avatar, and this is when they kind of had that introduction, introducing the world of Pandora even more and stuff like that. So we walk in about 5 minutes in, no ad breaks whatsoever. It's like 7:30, we get there 7:35, we get the food, we get all of that. We sit down, and but the thing to remember about this movie is, to be honest, really, you don't really miss out on much because it is one central story that kind of continues and continues. So you're not entirely confused because it's situated around this one core thing about about Pandora. You still get the Water Tribe, you still get Spider, you still get the Colonel Quaritch who becomes a Navi, and the enemies become the Navi. The Sky People are still bad. Oi, this stuff. So so in the 3D glass, like I still have my 3D glasses. I didn't I just reused my 3D glasses, and it's still really good in 3D. But this time around, I wasn't like, wow, oh my god, the sea visuals are blowing my mind. Oh my god, right? I wasn't like that. It's still it's still visually impressive, but I will have to say that when you put the visuals to the side, I did say in that review that I did a month ago, when you put the visuals to the side, you actually get a really decent story and dive into Pandora. But really, the story isn't the greatest. Like, the story, it's like base level and it's normal, like a normal movie. Oh, these people must attack them so they get what they want and stuff like that. But I do think that them introducing introducing the kids and introducing the other characters and sort of trying to expand out things is a good take, an interesting take. But it's not it's definitely not a perfect movie. Like, I do think that the Colonel Quaritch thing, where they use him again and he's just a Navi now, it's like, yeah, it's not a smart choice that James Cameron made. Obviously, he's still made people, drive up in droves to see this movie because of what I mentioned about less competition, and it's during the Christmas holidays. And I will not say that just because it's made so much money, it's a perfect masterpiece. No, there is issues, and like they kind of forget about the whales as well, like the whales that are introduced with the Sea Tribe. Like they like and not kill the whales, or they like harm the whales. Like there's kind of like animal cruelty going on, and then they forget about it, and now it's just about defeating Quaritch, and then you have Spider, and Quaritch. He's like Spider saves Quaritch, so he's still in the movie like after the setting movie, and James Cameron has a plan of making like 4 or 5 more of these films. Apparently, like, don't quote me on this, but apparently we're gonna see like the Navi turn into like fire beings or something like that. And there are Avatar: The Last Airbender fans who are getting up in arms about this, because it's sort of, you've got you had the Forest Tribe in the first movie, the Water Tribe in the second, and then the Fire Tribe, and then all of that. But to be honest, why would you get mad at it? Right, I get it. He's just pulling things from society and culture. Like, he pulled the Maori and the Pacifica and all of that. He pulled all those ideas for there. So and it's the circle of life. The circle of life is like forest, fire, water, wind, and all of that stuff. So I'm not actually mad or triggered at the fact that James Cameron is doing this, because it's so base level and basic that you can go to the movies and it's just a dumb, fun, entertaining ride. And I think preceding Avatar: The Way of Water, I do still think that the movies will still do well because of the way the way it's programmed and the way it's done. It's like, oh, this is a must-see cinema experience. You must see this film in the cinema, or it's just not going to feel the same. And I do agree that a movie like this should be seen in the cinema because of those visuals and the sound design and everything like that. And that's one thing Like, sometimes I prefer movies at home, and then sometimes I prefer it at the cinema. There are movies that I don't want to see at all, and then I just watch it randomly on streaming if I'm bored. So the stuff like that, or it's like I go see a movie once and then it's just out of the theatre now kind of thing. And Avatar, because it's made so much money, obviously I've been able to see it twice. And so like that is my thoughts on Avatar, The Way of Water. It's still a great movie, and I still didn't really feel the length of it either. Like it doesn't feel long. Like it feels like it's just blasting, like blazing through. It's like it is like a roller coaster ride that goes really fast. It's like that it doesn't drag on because you're just so taken away by the visuals and the entertainment aspect. Because the movie recognizes it's having so much fun, it's having so much fun, but it's not like you're having so much fun that you should forget about the issues of the film, because there are very, very blatant issues with this movie. The Aussie Australian guy is still a bit weird. It's like, I've got quotas to meet, mate. I gotta get the sample from the whale and get this money and all that. Because in the last movie, you also had this guy who did it for the money. So that in that way, there's some little ideas that retread it, but they do the Water Tribe and stuff. Still good, definitely. And so I remember giving Avatar: The Way of Water originally about an 8.5 out of 10. I'm gonna say it's probably on a 7.5 to an 8 now, because of those issues it drags down the quality. But it doesn't make the movie a complete and utter disaster upon a rewatch, if you know what I mean. So, like, I'm not out here saying it's a disaster now, but it's still a decent film. It just has those problems that just don't make it a masterpiece of a film, and if that makes any sense. And my sister and Matt boyfriend enjoyed it as well. Like I said, my sister's boyfriend also seen those issues as well. Still enjoys it. My sister liked it. She actually kind of like resonated with the emotional aspects. You know how Neytiri gets sad at the whole thing, and there are like it is just really. And I do still want to say that the movie is good. I think the movie is good until the last part of the movie, kind of thing. Because there are like it's so like nice to see the water and them all having fun on that island and all of that with this having spend time with the reef people, and then you have the sky people. Let's take out the whales, and it's like what? The movie was just so engrossing. It was engrossing itself and having fun. Then you have these bad guys trying to ruin the fun kind of thing. But then even then, like the last act is still entertaining. It's just that thing there drags it down immediately. And I think I might have went into spoiler territory there. But there probably has been a billion channels who've done this already. I just thought I would throw this in here for you because I've just had my mind all over Avatar, and I might as well talk about it for you. So I also had this other thing on my radar about the food episodes. So for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be talking about like what kind of food I actually enjoy seriously, how I eat food, like how much do I cook and stuff like that. And I'll just go through that, maybe some restaurant experiences, but I won't drag it out like I did with that technology saga, where I did like 6 episodes about, you know, phone brands and all of this stuff, when I could have drained it, sunken it down a bit, and that's kind of how I got my burnout. I suppose that's how I got burnt out from the podcast, because I was just doing too much of the same thing. So I'm gonna try to not do that for the future. I'm going to just try have these like sprees that are 2 or 3 episodes and then move on to another subject. I don't want to just keep going on and on and on and on and on about the same subject for 6 weeks, if you know what I mean. So I just don't want that. And it's like yeah, you heard my hot takes on food, but it wasn't an effective strategy of conveying how I think about something. It's like, ha ha ha. I think that McDonald's is bad, and ha 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 ha. Oh, this stuff, and I didn't really explain myself well. I did. I talked about Scottish food a long time ago, and I will say that I'm gonna talk about Scotland a bit more as well. Like I'm aiming for a bit of Scotland, because Scotland is a I've not it's really weird that I've not even talked about the most basic of things like food, and especially Scotland because I come from Scotland. I've been caught up in all these other subjects, and all these other ideas that I'm not even talking about the most basic of things. And I probably will talk about some February late related things and stuff like that. So there is that. It's like there's a bit of an extra update for the podcast. So we're hopefully gonna aim for that sort of stuff. And I'm going to say that I did mention in the last episode about Ant-Man and the Wasp and how I didn't mind the trailer. I thought I'd bring it up because I didn't really go into it in full detail because that episode was about completely other different things. So the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer, or the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, as you all know, I've sort of had a bad history of Marvel recently, and Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer, the third movie thing, whatever, actually kind of convinced me that this movie looks actually okay, or it could be a somewhat competent movie. Like it was like the first trailer felt like this tropey Marvel humor, then it dives into like a serious let's take out Kang thing. And you know me, I didn't really like it when Marvel introduced these random characters. But if this Ant-Man movie is actually important and it serves a lot of importance for the future of Marvel, where it expands upon things and it tells you, oh, this is how it's going to go, and it takes itself more seriously again, and it's actually interesting, and it's not self parody like Thor: Love and Thunder, or it's that stuff. So I hope that movie is actually very good, because I remember a couple of weeks back I wasn't sure about it, but I think I should probably go and see the film for myself. And just to give you a bit of background, the Ant-Man movies, like I really liked the first Ant-Man film. I didn't really remember so much about the second movie, but the first movie I did like Ant-Man. But the thing is with Ant-Man is how he's not necessarily like an Iron Man where he's like so important, like or like is memorable, if you know what I mean. Like not everyone like likes Iron Man, Captain America, and stuff like that. But if they can make this very important, and it's interesting, and I'd like that. I'd like that because I kind of have disagreed with people on YouTube who are saying it's just gonna continue the trash wave of Marvel, because you never know. Ant Man 3 could turn the table and actually provide something that's interesting. It could provide something that's actually good for the MCU, and I hope it does that, because if it doesn't, then it's not gonna be promising. And I've said my piece about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So those are the two kind of Marvel movies that I'm kind of excited for now. It's like Ant-Man 3, it has potential, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has potential as well, being a great film, and it's just, yeah, it was just really sad to see that Marvel kind of had a down spiral of quality, but because of, you go from Endgame and then the pandemic hits and all this pressure happens and stuff like that, you're gonna see a decrease in quality, and after a while, a piece of media is just gonna shrink in quality because it's been oversaturated by this same thing. That, yeah, it's just gonna continue to be bad, bad, bad. But I just hope it doesn't suck because of that history I've had with the MCU. But yeah, so yeah, there's that. Like Ant-Man, and I do like Paul Rudd. Right, he's like quite a cool actor. Like he does fit like the Ant-Man kind of guy, but like like it's like a small size movie with not really much, and then giant big scale and all that. And Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania kind of feeds into this whole multiverse stuff, and stuff like that. It's kind of continuing that storyline, I think. and I think Kang was introduced in Loki, but kind of forget about him. So, but yeah, I just hope it's good. That's kind of my emphasis on Ant-Man 3. I just hope it's a good movie because I don't want another bad Marvel movie, right? I've liked Marvel for ages, and to see it just dying in quality, just being milked, the intellectual property just being milked with 900 things instead of trying hard and, sitting back and just thinking about it more, negotiating with the executives. Oh, you should do it this way. Just take a step back and just be like, we need to do it that way so people actually like it, stuff like that. But whether or not, I may have said this in a review before, whether or not this movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp 3, is actually decent or not, you're still going to have the consumers eating it up. And so, yeah, that's my kind of thing for Ant-Man and stuff like that. Also, I am preparing potentially one of my most anticipated review episodes in recent memory. I know I never mentioned this as like a main subject for the podcast, but it's been floating around in my brain. It's been floating around in my brain that I'm gonna be covering like every single Yakuza game. Like I'm gonna do a giant review on this. So it might be my longest review yet, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. We'll see. Because I've been talking about Yakuza slightly on the podcast, but I've never really dived into it like in its full thing. And I've been playing Yakuza 6, and I've not been impressed with it. But as time has progressed when I've been playing the game, I've sort of like not appreciated it, but I've kind of just gotten over it and sort of realized that it's not really the best game. But with that said, I still will continue to play it despite that. So hopefully soon I should have a review out for the game itself. So I don't really know what else to talk about because I've talked about my thoughts on Avatar, then the food episode thing, and then maybe like elaborating on other things to do with movies and all of that. So hope you enjoyed the episode. See you next week as for this food stuff we're gonna be talking about. So yeah. See you next week. Bye. Bye.